Yun, good afternoon sa mga tao sa Pilipinas. Good afternoon. Good evening to anyone else who's outside of the country, of the Philippines. We have the opportunity, a very rare opportunity to speak to a good friend of mine. I hope he considers me as a friend as well. um, I first want to apologize. I wasn't able to broadcast yesterday. Again, the intro was given to us by Mr. Francis Cedula. The title of the song is Ballad of Penelope. And today we just want to catch up. I wasn't able to broadcast Saturday and Sunday. My mother was rushed to the hospital. And thank you again to everyone who extended their care and their concern, as well as who offered their prayers. Thank you very much. That's really appreciated. She's hopefully doing better. Her sodium levels are still down, but we're already in the process of having her admitted to the hospital, and hopefully it's better. But enough of that. Let's go to Mr. Jacob Lazo, the man of the hour. He'll give us a rare opportunity of picking his brain, talking about his transition, and I think this will be a very, very interesting conversation. And without further blah blah blah, here we go.
What's up,
Mr. Pinoy
everybody?
Prepper himself. There you
Mike
go.
Prepper. Hello, kumusta? What's up? What's going on? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Of course, of course. Long waited. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
just so people would have an idea, if you don't mind, just give them a brief background of who Jacob Lasso is, or should we focus on Pinoy Prepper, or they're inseparable? Is that two totally different things? Pinoy Prepper and Jacob Lazo, or
But how long do we have? That's a
we
good
got all day,
question.
baby. We got all
Uh,
day.
Um, got all day. All right. No, I
Mhm.
think I can summarize it by saying, so aside from the name, I want to consider myself as a work in progress. Um, it sounds so cliche, but I'm just a regular guy trying to like make a statement, so to speak, before your candle goes out. That's always been my fear because I fear death. I do. A lot of people say they don't fear death, they're ready to die. I can't say those words, like, because as I'm afraid of death, and not the physical death, but uh, to try to kind of summarize my answer is I guess you can call me a learner. Trying to make it out in one piece. So Pinoy Prepper is a guy who just recently recognized that he's got a lot to learn, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and Pinoy Prepper is it's in retrospect, I shouldn't have like settled for the name because I started the channel because I wanted to share what I know, and in a way wanted to learn from like my possible subscribers and whatnot because I was into prepping.
mhm.
But then again, it can't be helped that some aspects of your life gets uncovered, and the compartments that you build gets broken, like somehow they kind of like intersect, intertwine, and that's exactly what happened to my channel. So it initially it was about prepping, and then I realized it's a platform. It's a great time to be alive. You're like allowed to have a platform, so why limit yourself to prepping? But my monkey brain has been struggling for an alternative name, so I just got stuck with a label. Now at 2,000 plus subscribers, I'm pretty much stuck with a recall of Pinoy Prepper because everybody knows me as Pinoy Prepper. Like I've been endeared to my Latino fans, not fans. That's feel like an ass saying that 'cause subs. and they recognize me as Pinoy prepper. They do know what a Pinoy is, and we're like the Latinos of Asia, so we have that common history with them. So they kind of like the Pinoy label. So I'm pretty much stuck with it now. But I haven't been doing a prepper stuff for about, I want to say, 4 months now. So like when people like search up Pinoy prepper, they'll be surprised that I put out like shit content.
Don't do that. Here we go again, man. Here we go again. That's what I keep telling you. It's not shit content, man. People go to you for a specific reason. They want to find out about stuff. They want to. Oh, there you go. We got people talking already, man. Sorry. Still waiting for YouTube to load. I still haven't been able to pull up YouTube. We have a few comments from Dorothy Bright. We have
I see them.
Kuroro Warren, sir. What's up? So, uh,
Warren,
yeah,
Kuroro, Dorothy, what's up? How's it
so
going?
as I was saying, don't say that your content is not shit. I'm a follower. I am a subscriber, so it's not shit. And I don't think
No, no, no,
you'd get
I don't
to.
see it as shit. It's just that it's my way to like, because I've always been as a brand, I've always used self-deprecation not to like depreciate the brand. It's not
Yeah,
that I
I
think of
know.
my shit as shit. It's just that like a word of convenience. It's far
I
from me to
know,
be a brand thing.
but still, it will stick to people, and unconsciously, it will stick to you that you are putting shit. But again, I'm just letting people know he is not doing shit. Even if his shirt says so, I don't agree. So there. He mentioned that he is a continuously evolving person, like everyone else. I hope. Let's not get stuck on where we are, and I think this will be a very interesting point of conversation. How you got there? We'll start with let's like move back a few years, just so people, especially your new subscribers or people who go to your channel. Of course, I think they would love to find out like just a few things about um, who's behind the name, as they say. So, do you have like anything that you would like to share about the past? How long have you been there in the U.S.? More or less
4 years, just four.
four, 4 years. All right. So for the past, let's say, just 10 years, what have you been doing with your life?
Oh God. Uh, like employment wise, I did a lot of jobs in the Philippines to like kind of sustain me,
Mm-hmm,
but I've
mm-hmm,
always wanted to break into like media
mm-hmm.
because I'm a college undergrad, so I pretty much tried everything. Like I did bands, I did a lot of stuff. Um, let's start with work. I guess I did almost anything you can think of other than driving because I never drove. As a matter of fact, I don't drive here, which is stupid. A lot of people think it's stupid, and it's super not practical to not have a car in Los Angeles or all of California. But I'm making it work. Fucking hate
Mm-hmm.
cars. I don't know why, but have a car in Los Angeles or all of California. But
Yeah. So, from the Philippines, what was the transition like? You said you were a college undergrad. What was your course? What did you plan on to be?
I took a year of psychology, but it's amounted to nothing because I didn't even finish a year. So I started working in different call centers and everything you can pretty much think of. I carried water for crying out loud. Uh, Pretty much did everything except driving, like
Mm,
driving for a living. I taught English for the past 10 years. For the last 10 years, most of my employment included teaching uh,
I see.
in academies. I taught Japanese students,
Mhm.
Koreans, what have you, Turkish or Turks rather. Um,
Mhm.
and then all those years, I've been trying to like break it into like some form of media
Mhm. Mhm.
because I want attention. Like I'm gonna say that like everything I do right now, like my fucking YouTube channel, it's all for attention. Not a lot of people are ready to admit that. So
That's
it's
why I
it's for
love
better.
you, man. That's
Yeah,
why I
fuck
love
it.
you.
I'll be
Yeah,
straight up with you, man. Like if I want to help people, like if I tell you I created a channel so I can help people, that's bullshit. Like there's so much ways to like fucking help people. So this is for me. Me having a YouTube channel is a selfish act. I'm very selfish.
God
Like
damn it,
I want
man.
I want
There
people
you
to like
go.
validate. No, pretty much, man. I'm being very. Before this, we had a conversation, right? And I told you,
Yeah.
man, I'm like 100%. I ain't gonna fuck
Mhm.
around. Like I owe you that much. But yeah. Where was I?
Being selfish, man. Being
Yeah.
honest. That's where you were, man. That's where you were. Motherfucker. That's why I
Like
love
I
this fucker,
probably
man.
had a I probably had a crazy upbringing, not crazy in a traditional sense, but it's like I had the wrong heroes. Like imagine at 12 your hero is like people like fucking Steve-O, fucking so I'm pretty much molded by my environment, like we were sheltered when we were kids, to be
Yeah.
honest. We were like my mom treated us as if we came from money. But early on, I recognized that we weren't. But the way she
Mhm.
treated us was she never really prepared us for like real life.
Mhm.
So we kind of like because I have two siblings from the original marriage, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
We were so different from everybody living in the
Mhm.
Philippines. So we never really had friends in a traditional sense. Am I cutting myself too much? I do
It's
this.
cool, man. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just chill out, man. That's what we're doing, man. No.
No, I'm chill. I'm chill. I'm just
Yeah, it's chill.
Yeah, pretty much it. There's really nothing going on. There's really nothing going on. I live like a boring life in the Philippines. I pretty much like things that are not usually liked by people my age. Like imagine listening to Frank Sinatra at 10. So that's pretty much it, man.
I see.
Like
I see.
there was
Well,
really
that's
nothing
great.
going on. Yeah.
That's beautiful. God damn it. The first thing that comes out of your mouth, we're just what? 13 minutes deep. All right. We're just 13 minutes deep and you're fucking dropping bombs, motherfucker. There you go.
Dude,
We got a comment.
constantly great content.
We have a comment from Facebook because we're on both Facebook and YouTube.
You put
We
us
got
on.
people saying, yeah, we got people saying exactly. Nobody does that. You do a channel for helping out people, and people are, of course, again, not surprised. Like I said, you are not putting out shit content. I know it's just your way of saying it, but it's easy to misinterpret this shit. Not everybody understands what we mean. So there you go. I just have to read a few comments before I continue. Who was your childhood hero? Dorothy. Good afternoon, Cassie. Good afternoon, Lilibeth. Miss Lilibeth. Good afternoon. And here we go. So moving on. So from being from the Philippines, teaching, and then moving forward to going to the US. How did that happen? What happened?
Yeah, I was pretty much destined to go. And when I say destined, because everybody's here, like my family's here, my mom's here,
Mm, I see.
almost everybody on my mom's side is here. And my dad
Uh-huh.
kind of fucked it up, so he cheated, whatever. And supposed to be the five of us was gonna come over, right?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
life happened, and so my dad ended up having a new wife. And so my two brothers came over first, and I was pretty much stuck back home for I waited 11 years, but I didn't
Mhm.
really mind because I was having so much fun. But in retrospect, I would have it would have been really cool if I came over at a younger age.
Earlier, yeah.
Would have been given a lot more opportunities, like employment wise, chasing your
Mhm.
dream, and all that. Because there is a like an age filter. They say you can do it whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it. So this what I've been like telling like young kids. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, there's this guy. He's also a YouTuber. He's 15. His name's Winner TV. He calls out
Mhm.
fights. He's a very good analyst, and he's 14. And I would keep telling him, "Hey, man, just do this and do that." But while I do that, I'm also aware that I'm not his parent. But if I can save this kid from like the
Yeah,
mistakes I've been doing, like that would be great for me. Like he's a
yeah,
cool kid. He
right.
commentates on fights, boxing, and he calls out good fights. I mean, he's good at what he does,
Mhm.
and I can see that he's surrounded by people that are not necessarily good influences on him. So I worry about the kid. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, you probably know him. His name's Winner Abisola TV. So if I like meet people like that with so much potential, I want to save them from. And I know it sounds really. I'm looking for a word here, but I know it's not my
Cliche.
not cliche, but I know it's not
Mhm.
my place to like tell them what to do. That's the
Yeah,
parents' like
exactly.
duty,
Yeah.
right? But
Mhm.
so
But
there's like a
it's
battle in me.
concern, man.
Yeah,
It's
I'm very
concern.
much
That's
concerned.
genuine concern, and very rare would that happen with this type of environment, online environment. That's
Yeah,
what I
pretty much.
keep saying, and I think that's the difference between other people like us who go here. Sorry, I'm still here. I'm still here. It's just the camera that cut off. Yeah. So yeah, it's the difference between a few other worthy content creator. That's why I think it's one of the reasons why you're being successful right now. From how many did you started with? How
Well, it started
many
from zero
subscribers?
apparently, but when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
when I met you guys, it was at around 30
There.
or I want to say 100.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
And from that number, let's just say 30, from 30 in amount of what, 2 months? Was that 2 months or 3 months?
I want to say oh, like how long it took for me to like reach 30
Hit
or what?
2,000. Hit 2,000, man. You're currently at 2,000, motherfucker.
Oh,
Don't
God.
forget
So
that.
from 500, I jumped to uh 2000 in 2 weeks.
There you go. There you go. And that's what I keep saying, that because of what you're doing right now, you're being honest, you're being who you really want to be, and it reflects. And you get fucking like a jump of 1,500 in like what, 2 weeks? That rarely happens, motherfucker, with shit content that you're saying. So
Yeah, it's
that's what I'm
now
saying. Yeah.
2600 and counting.
There you go, motherfucker. There you go. 2,500. My bad. My bad. I thought it was 2,000. Last I checked, it was 2,000, man. There you go. So going back to that with genuine concern, and I think that's very, very noble of you to at least extend that much. Because that's as much as we can do. I mean, if we can find at least one soul to save, then what the fuck, man? Why not do it? Why not do it? But there are, of course, limits. We can only go so far. That's one of the things we were talking
Oh, yeah.
about offline before we decided to do the shit broadcast. Finally, your interview, because just so that people are aware, we usually have conversations off stage. We would usually just have, chit chats over coffee or whatever. We just fuck around, but there are profound things that we get to talk about that people don't hear. And we were already going there, so I decided, fuck it, let's do it. He just had
We're
to,
live.
yeah, he just had to have a moment. So yes, going back to that. Um, finding that one thing to do, finding that one way to at least give meaning to yourself. At least personally, I don't give a fuck about what other people are thinking about. Just find that one meaning for you. And if you can follow that, if you can be honest, if you can be who you are without, needing to go to jail or whatever, then that's good. Pursue it, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
But then again, I can still do. I can still message the guy. Like I don't have
Uh,
to like not help him. But I'm just saying, like in general, sometimes you see like yourself
yeah.
in people you want to help. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
But
Very true.
this kid is doing way better than I was when I was 14. Again, wrong heroes and
Mhm.
all that. My
Yeah, I
mom
know.
left for the state when I was 14. So um, and I was happy because I had all the freedom and everything. But I started realizing that kind of because you're at 14, you're still impressionable, right?
Yeah,
We
very
think
much. Very much.
7, but at 14, you're pretty much clay at that point.
Mhm.
Especially when you're like
Mhm.
when your upbringing is different. Like imagine
Ah.
like your mom, he would talk to us in English at an early age because she knows we're gonna like go. Like she doesn't want
Mhm.
she wants to like get past the language barrier. So we pretty much grew up American.
Mhm.
So a lot
Mhm.
I had to. This is funny. I had to like uh, learn how to speak English as a Filipino to not be discriminated against. So that's how
Mhm.
weird we were. That's how weird we were. We were like given. We were not given a pass when we were young. When we were like in school.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
moving on. So yeah, man. I feel like it's not your responsibility, but if there's like a window of opportunity, if you like see kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you see like people like, hey
Yeah.
man, I've been there. Don't do that. Or
Um,
these are the signs that I didn't recognize when I was there.
mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm giving you,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
throwing you a bone. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, you really have to word it carefully when you like talk to
Yeah.
like kids, because at a
Mhm.
certain point you think you know everything. You know,
Yes.
I thought I
Very
knew
true.
everything. So yeah, man, it's
Oh
a dangerous
yeah.
thing to do.
Oh yeah. Being a kid is dangerous, man. You
Yeah.
got the world by the balls and
Uh,
by the tip of your fingers, man. That's why I keep saying that we can only go so far. The best thing we can do, I think, especially in this situation where we're part of, like, what's the right word? I'm looking for a right word. We're part of a platform where everyone can see us, everyone can
yeah,
watch what we do, and
pretty
we
much.
can leave a very, very dangerous impression of what
Right.
they can emulate or what they can copy, whatever would be the right word for that. That's why we try as best as we can to be at least, like, ha- I don't want to say a role model, but at least have that way of
Yeah,
presenting yourself without being
right.
uh, dangerous to other people who would be viewing you or leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. You know, be careful of your language. Be careful of, like, what exactly the content you're putting out, shit like that. I'm good with my profanity. I think they're old enough. That's one of the reasons why I don't want my channel to be that to be that big,
That's
because I think it's for
Dude,
adults.
I
It's
turned
not gonna be
2600
for
while we were
kids,
talking
man.
right now. While we were talking right now, I just turned 2600.
There you go, motherfucker. There you go. That's why I love it, man. And I just want to read a few comments from people on YouTube. I feel you, Jacob, but no matter how good your intentions are, you know how this generation thinks. And I believe you know that when you're young, you know everything and you don't want to be told of things that you don't want to hear. But that's again exactly why this particular platform or this particular channel I created is a place for people who are looking for something and are prepared to hear and listen to what exactly you need to hear. You're fucking up, motherfucker. You have to change. If you're not prepared to do that, then I don't think you're in the right place. And teens always have a rebellious mind. For us as adults, we should always talk to them like an adult, no superior talk. We should talk at their level where we can communicate and they can realize their mistakes when they get at 40s. It's a process. Exactly, man. Kororo said, Mask Rider Black Hero ko nun. I started motorbiking early and when I was young, until I was not able to reach my motorcycle. And when I got into an accident, I stopped riding a motorbike. These are just a few comments that we're having on YouTube. And I think people are, like I said, people are feeling what you are saying. People people resonate with your message, and that's exactly what I love about it, man. And in the backstage, we were talking about the decisions that you made. You mentioned that you had like what 30 people on your channel. What was the reason for that? Why was it? Can we go there? All
Pretty much.
right. So
Talk
there.
to me.
Um, you you mentioned before that the channel was not that how do you say that, well attended to.
Mm.
Is there a particular reason for that? Would you like to let people
Yeah.
know, like the humble start
Um,
of the channel? There you go.
okay, I had an original channel. It's called the Tony Cam, and I started this in 2018. Like the first year that I moved here, I knew what I wanted to do. Right, I wanted to break into like YouTubing. I want to be on YouTube, and this was when I was a year into my relationship with my current girlfriend. And so I started the channel, and it was a travel channel because I like traveling, I like hiking, and I made short cinematic clips, made them into like short movies because I wanted to be like the next, I don't know, Wes Anderson or whatever. You know, like you have these ideas in your head and you
Of
think you're the
course,
shit.
man.
So and then when that channel reached up to like 400 subscribers, and when I'm getting like traction, like uh as soon as I got interaction with people uh in the channel, my girlfriend got really jealous. You know, I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. I'm not saying
Mhm.
she's like a bad person or whatever, but just to let people know like why it wasn't
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
it wasn't a full endeavor. So um as of at the moment, I have a great relationship with my girlfriend. We have a daughter, and we're all good. But we had a we had arguments, like fights over me content creating. I don't know if it's about jealousy, or he's or she's used to like traditional boyfriends, or like the idea of a husband material that just stays at home, do your 9 to 5 job, just provide and don't do anything else outside that bubble. But I blame myself because I wasn't able to like introduce who I am to her. Like she was unaware of my dream of breaking into like some sort of media so I can like express myself artistically. Because I used to like write a lot. We had this conversation in the
Yeah.
backstage that I wanted to be a writer. I considered myself as a writer. I identified as a writer, but
Mhm.
nothing's working out. But I still had that self identity. So I
Yeah, yeah.
brought that here in the States, and I wanted to like break into like media, any form of media, so I can
Mm.
express my individuality. And I did not introduce that to her, that side of me.
Mhm.
There was conflict early on in the
Of
relationship,
course.
so I had to stop that channel to please her because I was living with her. I was living in her parents' house,
Mhm.
and so so what happened was I started uh, to have clandestine content creating without her knowledge. So I started to hide things from her.
Hiding.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
started hiding things from her, and we had this conversation.
Mm.
Don't have to surprise, like this.
Yeah,
We,
yeah. I'm
we have
surprised
like,
with no. I'm
um,
I'm I'm just surprised with
yeah,
hearing first
all
that
these
you
things.
hid it. Yeah, you hid it from her from the beginning. Because the
Totally
impression I
hidden from
had
her.
was the impression I had was she was aware of this. That's
No,
why. Uh,
he was
there you
aware of
go.
the Tony Cam channel, but then I started a couple of channels that didn't really uh, uh, become successful. And my last attempt was the Pinoy Prepper because it's like I,
Mm,
I I thought of what is one content that I can do on the side that doesn't really require
mm.
a lot of pizzazz, so to
Yeah, yeah. A
speak.
lot
And
of
I think
bullshit.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's prepping, so I can just like like because every day I go to work, I have my EDC bag with me, my everyday carry, where I have everything that
Mhm,
I need to have in case of like emergencies, zombie
mhm,
apocalypse,
mhm.
whatever. So I already have him every day with me,
Uh,
so like
uh,
during my breaks at work, I could just like take like B rolls of whatever I have during that day,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Exactly.
talk like the camera, like my phone, and that's it. That's already content. So that was the beginning of the channel. And in my stupid monkey brain, I had this idea that I can do this like for a lifetime without her knowing. So like, so that was me. Like I got this. I got this. And uh,
Shit hit
what
the
ended up
fan.
happening is see now it's I get confused like how she knew about it. But to make the long story short, she knew about it, and then that caused a major argument.
Oh, yeah. Here we
We almost
go.
like separated, and you know this part very well. This was
Yep,
the
yep,
time
yep, yep.
when I was like when I met you guys, the TUC family, underground culture
Mhm,
with Zion, with Warren
mhm,
DG in the comment section right now, in the chat room right now,
mhm.
yourself and Cobalt and gel cams.
Uh-huh.
So you guys were like my outlet for like my frustration because you guys are making content, and I'm like I feel like I was left out. Like I feel like the world is doing its thing and I'm being left behind. So I
Mhm,
started putting out more content, right? And
mhm.
it was so bad that it came to the point that I would check myself in motels. This was before I was living in motels. I'm talking about this was like 7 months ago. I would check myself into motels just to create content, and that's like fucking $80 a night just to create content. So that's how hungry I was for
Yeah,
self-expression.
yeah. Mhm,
So what
mhm.
ended up happening was I was literally cheating on her with my content.
Yeah,
My content was my mistress.
yeah,
So
exactly. There
it
are
became a choice for me. Do I
ah,
just because I've long accepted that I'm not normal. I'm a horrible person. I'm selfish. That's I came to that realization really late in life because I had that white knight mentality. I thought that everything I'm doing is just it's the right path, whatever. But recently I've realized that I'm living. I am indeed selfish. But I do care for my daughter. I do care for her. I do care for like the human race in its entirety. I just don't conform to how the world tells you
wants you
should.
to be.
Like
Yeah.
how like Filipino parents would impose to their daughters at 27 you should have like kids already or something like that.
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
I, I think that part of society where it gives you a roadmap, like a standard roadmap, and this is fed to us, like literally fed
Uh-huh.
to us. If you deviate, you're something else. You're wrong. You're not right. So so then I started realizing maybe I'm not selfish. Maybe
Mm,
I'm not wrong.
mhm,
Like people are just people. People are who they are. So if you
mhm,
suppress
mhm,
that, you will have problems, right?
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
example is if
Yeah.
you're not getting, good sex in your marriage bed, it doesn't matter how faithful you are to your wife or husband. If that area, not even sex, let's not talk about, let's say a good conversation, if that's lacking in your marriage, you will ask for that, or you will like look for that in the workplace, when you get your
Yeah.
milk from 7-Eleven, that nice
Needs.
lady on the counter, instead of
Your
like,
needs.
spending a couple
Yeah.
of seconds, you end up spending like half an hour just conversing with a guy, with a person, whatever. So
Yeah.
my thing is, I'm being suppressed, and I realize by saying this, I sound like a bitch. Like, hey, I'm the victim, but but I think because I didn't realize that it was a need,
Hmm.
so that's how it got to this point.
Yeah.
So it became a
Hmm.
big life changing moment. I had a choice, right? Should I just like keep doing what I'm doing, fucking just go to my 9 to 5 job, go
Yeah.
home, and just like at 60, just deal with the what ifs? But I can't do
Live
that.
instead
That-
of
that's-
exist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Live
yeah.
instead of exist.
So
Yeah.
those were my choices, man, and here we are. Um,
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
it has a certain kind of beauty that I can't put into words.
Mhm.
Like right now, every waking moment when I wake up, like I still hear voices that tells me or asks me like, "What are you doing, man?"
Mhm.
Like that monologue that you have when you wake up in the morning, telling you, are you doing the right thing here, or are you just playing house with your dreams or whatever? So I
Mhm.
have those thoughts, and those thoughts come every day, and those thoughts were louder, were getting louder, and you know what silenced them? When my subscribers shot up. It's like everything that I ever like worked for, like times I've missed seeing my daughter, or like fights, arguments that I had with my girlfriend. So it was all worth it.
Yeah. It's paying off, man. Fucking
It
paying
is
off.
paying off, and the
Yeah.
beautiful thing is, the first person I heard that from was from my girlfriend. Like she appreciated, like she cried for me, not cried like literally, like I can see that she's fighting back tears, but she was like
Yeah.
saying, finally, because
Hard
because
work
I'm a prima donna,
paying off.
I'm a prima donna. Like if I work on content, it has to be like, I don't need people around. I want to be alone, So sometimes
Yeah,
I
of
would like
course.
leave the house, you know. And so my girl would tell me, when I told her, hey, my subscribers are shooting up, and I think it's finally working. Like the
Mhm.
algorithm is like freaking is with me like today, or for the past 2 weeks. She's
Mhm.
like, finally, all those things that were said and done, all those missed moments in your daughter's life, it's paying off. Because goddamn, I'll be damned if it won't. Because if that happened, then all those sacrifices, all those missed
For
moments with your
nothing.
daughter would have amounted to nothing.
Exactly.
Well, in a way, it's luck, I guess. But
Nah, it's luck. We make it. We make our own luck, motherfucker.
we do, we do.
We do. We do. So let's just unpack all of that. Let's just unpack all of that. All right.
No,
So
a lot.
first, you were cheating on not only her, but yourself. You were just accepting things as they were, as you said.
Yeah.
And by doing that, like I said, I wanted to interrupt you, but I didn't. I really felt you had to let that out. And hopefully, I can still remember what went into my mind. Just give me a couple of seconds. There you go. You realized that you were already lying not only to other people, but to yourself. And when you do this, it reflects on what you do and everything about you. You are creating that environment of resentment.
Hmm.
Is that a good word to say with like how you were starting to feel? You were already resenting her in a way because she didn't want you to pursue this, blah blah blah. You know, is that a good word to say?
I
Were you
hated her.
already feeling? Oh, there you go.
No,
So
I
yeah.
wanted to like I wanted nothing to do with her. Like I was ready to just leave because knowing her, she's gonna weaponize the baby, and I'm willing to like not see my daughter. So it got
Mhm,
so bad that it got to that point where I was ready to like be a deadbeat dad
mhm,
and just like help my daughter financially or whatever.
mhm.
It got that
So
bad, you
yeah.
know,
So from
because I'm.
there,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's about it. Like I was ready to
Uh,
like make some stupid decisions because
mhm,
couldn't see the side of things that I'm
mhm,
she couldn't see my side of things.
mhm, mhm. So
So
we'll we'll pause on that. We'll pin that. So from the beginning, if we look back to what his story started with, he hid it from her either intentionally or unintentionally. But we'll try to find out. But if we like look at like the root cause of that particular problem before it got into a beautiful moment, if he was honest, if he told her from the beginning that this is how I feel, this is who I think I am, if maybe he let her peek into that part of himself that he really wanted to. I hope I'm not misunderstanding the whole conversation, but if he did not, or if he initially started the relationship with, this is who I am, this is who I think I am, this is what I want to do we think that it would have gotten to this point where they resented each other because of like just trying to keep up that what's the right word, impression, or the act that you were playing before you started the relationship? That's why it's very dangerous to start a relationship if, number one, you're honest. If you're not honest to yourself, or if you do not give a complete picture. Sorry, man, I'm just, letting people who will be able to watch this at least, have this idea that these are the things that needs to be done prior, because
yeah,
that's the whole. I'm not selfish. Fuck you. I'm not selfish. I don't do this to. I don't do this for attention. I do this to help. That's
can't
me.
fool me, brother.
I have a fucked up brain. I don't need attention. I have too much of that already. I have five people in my head who's giving me too much of it. So there, going back. So be very careful with that.
I don't believe you.
Maybe from like at an early age, we should be educated of that before starting a relationship, you have to be aware of who you are. At least he had beautifully mentioned a roadmap from yourself, and that's what I've been trying to build. That's the whole problem of my fucking channel. That's why I can't broadcast that frequently, because I don't want to put up half baked shit. So that's what I've been trying to build, at least as a general roadmap of what you should be aware of, what you should be able to do, so that we don't reach this point where we need that struggle with a partner or people around us. That's what we're trying to do with all these conversations. We're trying to find at least something that we can relate to, like in general, anyone, that it will apply to everyone. And I think this perfectly applies to everyone. Be honest. Let your partner know who you are before you even enter the relationship. And then be honest enough to say that this is where I am now. I'm already hating you and I don't want that to happen. I think you had that conversation, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I was asking. Oh, is that a question like for like?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a question for you. Yeah.
I've asked. I mean, I've told her I don't want you no
Mhm,
more. Like I don't love you no more. I mean, maybe I
mhm,
do love you, but it- I can't be with you no more. Like
mhm,
it's clear as day. Like I don't see
mhm.
my future. I don't see a future of us together. Like when I think of a sunset, you're not there. You know how
Oh
like
my
when you think of
God.
a when you look at a beautiful place, like let's say you're traveling or you're on a cruise ship or you're thinking of going to Bali, like your first thought is, oh, this would be a great like escape for me and the missus or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it got
Yeah.
to the point that I was picturing other people like so different from her.
Fuck.
I was cutting her out of the picture, and this
Yeah.
was when we before the arguments. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, man,
Mhm.
it got so bad. So I played the perfect role. I was the best actor in this narrative where I'm in. You know, like her parents were oblivious to the fact. Even her, she was oblivious to the fact that I hated everything about her
Fuck.
because she would just shut down conversation like, "Hey, I want to start a YouTube channel again," and it got so bad
Mhm.
that every time I pick up a camera, she would like shoot me like looks. If looks could
Yeah.
kill
Yeah.
me, I'm telling you.
I know.
But
I
then
know.
again,
Yeah.
to those of you who's probably thinking right now, oh, this is a case of he said, she said. This is just your side.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, I 100% blame myself because when I presented myself to her, I acted as somebody that I'm not. You know how like we put our best foot forward when we meet a person. So
Yeah.
I went overboard and I created this illusion in her head
Mhm.
that I was a great catch, you know, because I'm weird as fuck, you know, like I it's so I kind of lied to her, to be honest, like to get her into a relationship with me. I kind of like lied to her, created a persona, which it's
Mhm.
the last thing you want to do when you want to build an actual relationship with a person that you want to build a relationship with. So I made a lot of mistakes from day one. So now if I tell people what happened, I try not to like tell them anything because I don't want them to walk away with a misconstrued version of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
truth because the
Yes.
truth is I was at fault from day one. Like I only explained to her or showed herself or showed her myself when we already have like a daughter in her belly.
Yeah.
So it was like 9 months too late, you know. So I want to say 2 years too late because my daughter, I guess my daughter just turned 2 when we started having problems regarding this YouTube thing. My timeline is fucked up because it's one big mess. But my daughter is already able to walk when we were having these really bad arguments about I'm choosing my craft over you, but that does not mean I don't love you. It's just that I'm not conventional. I can't be the husband, picket fence, white picket fence father figure. I'm a creator, you know? So if you're in a relationship with a creator or with an artist or with a self-expressive person, if you ask that person not to continue his craft, one of two things will happen. Let me repeat that. If you're in a relationship with a person who identifies as an artist, as a creator, as a writer, as whatever, one of two things will happen. If you tell him to like stop doing what you're doing for my sake, one of two things will happen. The first thing is they're gonna leave your ass, no questions. If they love you, they're gonna lie to you. They're gonna hide it from you. So I chose the latter because I can't picture myself. And again, it's not because of my tremendous love for her. It was for my love for my daughter because I can't be. I just can't. I just can't fathom the idea of my daughter growing up without a father. I know how important a father figure is to a family, to a daughter, most especially to a girl, to a daughter. So I chose to lie to her to keep that fucking status quo that we're okay. And if I find time, if I find extra money, I'm gonna check into a motel. I'm gonna lie to my girlfriend. I'm telling her, hey, I'm gonna go to a no, no, I'm gonna go to work. I'm picking up extra hours, so
Mhm.
bye, peace. So I did that, and that 8 to 9 hours that I was at a motel, like a crazy person, like just doing content, I was happy. I was in my happy place. You know, just
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
content, just like full self-expression. So I don't know how I was able to convince myself that I can like fucking sustain this for like a lifetime. But it sounded good when I was like thinking of it. It sounded awesome, like living like a secret life or whatever. But
Yeah, fucking secret agent man, motherfucker.
yeah, no, you don't. You have a fucking briefcase with you. But
Yeah.
no. Was the hey,
And
it's a good question. Was this the hardest decision you've ever
yeah,
made? Hell yeah, hell yeah, straight up, hell yeah, it was. It was the hardest decision because I could always choose, and people do this on a regular basis. I can always just leave and like not look back. You know,
very true. Very true.
that is the easiest route. Like every once in a while, just give them money or maybe take the child support and just like, have a chunk out of your paycheck be given to the mom or whatever.
Mm,
That's the easiest way, like the easiest route.
mhm,
And you can do whatever the
mhm,
fuck you want,
mhm.
you know?
But
But then
being
again,
responsible, being a responsible individual as yourself.
no, I'm saying you can still be responsible. Like legally, that's still a
Mhm.
responsibility.
No,
You can still
no,
be responsible. You can like you can set hours to see your daughter.
but
That's
that's
everybody
not.
can do that.
Yeah, that's not the right definition of responsibility. That's out of convenience. If people would do what you did, like sit down, this is exactly what our problem is. If you face that dragon, that's what I call it. If you face your demons, if you face whatever's like creating that fucked up environment in your life, if you sit down, talk to it, make friends with it, find out what's causing the problem and fixing it, manning up to it, admitting to your faults, which is probably the hardest thing to do, admitting that this is what I fucked up with, and because of that, this is what happened to our relationship. This is what happened, and I think I need to make amends, which I think you did, and you beautifully decided on that. You have to make amends. I have to do this. I have to separate myself from this situation, and I think you're doing better with her right now than before, right? Even if you're not together, because I think you're not staying in the same place, right?
I technically still live with them. So pretty much when we made up, when we got better again, I just
Mhm.
thought of this as this apartment is my studio because I can't really do like
Ah,
hard work when I'm with them when I'm
I
in
see.
their house, so to speak. I can't like
Uh-huh.
do this,
Yeah, I know, I
obviously.
know. Yeah.
I can't like just spend hours editing shit. So it's a good compromise. Like I stay here for like 3 4 days and then come back and just do daddy
Ah, I see.
and all
I
that.
see.
So
I
it's
see. I see.
lagare
Yeah.
in Tagalog. You
Yeah.
you make sacrifices, make it
Yeah.
work.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think this is a far better situation than just fucking, you know, being a faggot. I'm sorry if that's the wrong word, but I don't think there's any other word of doing it. Like not manning up, being a
yeah.
faggot. Yeah, not manning up. That's my personal fucking meaning to it. So fuck you if you don't agree with it. If you don't man up to it, I'm sorry. Then that's what you are. You don't man up to it, right? If you just walked away and then just somewhere along the way hit her up with a divorce paper, I'll do this and that. That's not responsibility. That's bullshit. That's just what's the right word for it? Justification. I think that's the best way to put into words what I have in mind.
Mm.
You're just justifying your actions. You're not manning up to it. That was a very, very hard thing what he did. He sat down. This is the problem between you and me, and we have to either find a solution to this or this is what's going to happen. A, we part ways. B, I resent you for the rest of my life. But after that conversation, I think it was a good resolution, right? You finally
No,
were able to be honest with her.
okay, because there was there were several battle lines drawn. Like it wasn't like okay. Remember, I think I shared to you that we had a conversation at Cheesecake Factory because every time we had
Ah,
a
yeah,
conversation,
yeah.
it's at her house, right? So it's not
Mhm,
neutral ground. So what I told her was, you know what? When we talk, since we're at I'm the mercy of your parents. You know, like I
mhm,
live with you guys. It's not neutral ground. And
mhm,
she was like, "No, no, no, you can say anything you want. It's fine. Let's do it inside my room. You can just like tell
mhm.
me like, nope, nope, nope. That's not how it works, because we are going to come into like screaming. That's all. It always happens, you know. And when that happens, I have to be aware at all times that her parents would be listening, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that would limit my self-expression. Like that would limit the honesty that I'll be willing to present. So I asked
Yeah,
her, all
yeah.
right, I'm gonna sell a lot of because Cheesecake Factory is fucking expensive, but
Mhm,
um it's always like busy and it's like always bustling, so we can like scream at each other. Nobody would give a fuck because people go there
mhm.
to argue, So basically,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple and it's interesting. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I asked her to have dinner with me at
Mhm.
Cheesecake Factory, and it was a good conversation, but that was one out of many. So it wasn't, like in the movies, like
One
when
and
the
done.
protagonist, yeah, they sit
Yeah,
down,
it
then the
wasn't.
music
No, no, no.
plays, and everything's okay again.
No, 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 no.
And they
It's a
tackle a different
process.
problem. No, it was several battle lines drawn between herself
Mhm,
and myself, and only about 2 months ago, right? Because I rented this room, I guess 2 months ago. It's my second month, so it's funny because I was already here. I was already physically separated from her, and we're
mhm,
trying to
mhm.
work things out, and we're still like, like
Of course, of course. It's a
going through each
process,
other's
man.
things, like it's
Mhm.
if we
Process.
wanted something, I can't provide it. And so I'm like, you know what? You stop making it hard for yourself. If I was such a bad person, just break up with me. Like I was the one who's like initiating the breakup, you know.
Yeah.
But kudos to my girlfriend, She would just like hold on, you know. So she kind of let go of her pride as a woman because women are like prideful creatures. I don't care what you say, but they are. Like we are also prideful, but their brand of pride is unique to them. Like
Yeah, of
they,
course.
but she
Uh-huh.
fucking, yeah, she let go of that, and she made it clear that I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna see your side of things. And then I realized that's when I started realizing that it's really my fault, because if I had shown her who I am from the beginning, either we wouldn't have continued with the relationship and made ourselves happier with different people, which is great. But what I did was I kind of like deceived her. I kind of like played a role. I took on a persona to
Mhm.
for me to be likable, because
Mhm.
I was always hungry for attention. Like that's my personality. You know, I don't know how to dress. I don't wear the latest fashion, but I get sad when I don't get attention. You know, not a lot of people are ready to admit that, but I do crave
Yeah.
for attention. I'm a selfish motherfucker. Like I don't have the best fashion sense. I don't. Sometimes I don't even clean myself. Like who gives a fuck? But I realize that I'm the type of person who craves for it. One of the reasons why I set up a YouTube channel is that, as I told you earlier.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, like I should have presented herself or myself to her when we first started dating. That would have saved us a lot of headaches, a lot of arguments, a lot of bullshit,
I know, man. I
whatever.
know. I know. Shit, man.
So
It takes a while before we do that, man. Realize things. I think the title should be realization, but I think I chose something else. But I think it's
mm,
still apt. I think it's still within the boundaries of Because I usually just choose one word that could like at least encapsulate who I'm talking to or whatever. But since we chose device, being ready or thinking about being ready, it just took a while before you got ready to admit that to yourself. That I was lying not only to myself, but to other people by hiding who I really was, which is, I think, like fucking everybody does that, motherfucker. We're not all ready to be honest enough to say people out there to like present ourselves exactly as we are. Taking off a mask is very hard because we feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be honest. You'd feel vulnerable if you bare yourself, or as they say in like psychology terms, being naked. I mean, if you take those pretenses, if you take off, like, if you don't play that game with people, that's what you were telling earlier. We were talking about this in the backstage that you were not giving the right responses to like the actions of people around you, which is why the fuck should I? Why should I play their game? I don't want to play everyone's interaction, which is also part of this whole fucking research why I did that fucking channel. It's because people want you to play their game on their terms. And you also want to play your game in their fucking terms. There's a book on that. And I have been sick and tired of like trying to have this digested for everyone to understand. We are all playing games. There are games people play. And I think I shared this with you before you
Thank
decided
you.
to do. I think I sent you links about this games people play because this is
Yeah.
transactional. You reply to me if we're having a conversation, if we're having an argument. It's all a game because we all have unresolved fucking reasons or
Yeah.
shit that we carried from childhood up to
Pretty much.
adulthood. And we're just playing that game to continuously play that instead of finding the reason, which what you did. You finally sat down. This is the game we're playing. You told her the rules of your game. And then she gave you the rules of her game as well. That's why it's working
Mm.
out because you're both aware of the game you were playing, right? And that's what I keep saying to people. Don't fucking play a game where both of you are unaware of the rules. You have to fucking draw the rules of engagement, right? And that's why I love you, motherfucker. You listen. That's what I love about you. Very few people do that and have what's the right word? Who have enough balls to admit to your fault. Very
Crazy enough.
rarely would. No. When you say crazy, it means yeah. So if you have enough to admit to your fault, if you can see the wrong of you, then it helps make a better person or a better version of yourself. And fuck it, man. This is beautiful. I told you when we have conversations, it's beautiful conversations, motherfucker. Now let's move on.
We had
How
conversations more intense than this, right?
yeah,
Maybe not like live. Hey, Dorothy Bright, thank you. Appreciate it so
yeah.
much.
Thank you very much, man. I thank you very
I
much, ma'am. Yeah, give him attention. He really needs it. He's a
do. I
fucking
need attention.
goddamn attention whore. Fucking attention
Yeah,
whore,
I
motherfucker.
am. I don't have a problem admitting that,
Well,
but
we all need attention. We all need attention, man. We all need attention. There are just certain levels of attention that we need. And with that being said, the biggest attention that we need to listen to is ourselves. If you pay attention to yourself instead of other people's attention, I think you get a better view of what you want. When he started paying attention to what he wanted, he started seeing fucking reality as it is. He was lying. He was fucking doing this, doing that. which was fucking up his whole fucking life, right? You paid attention to yourself, man. And I think that's a really great thing, man, that what you did. And I love you for it, motherfucker. God damn you. Good job. And I hope it keeps getting better, man. I hope it keeps getting better. All right, now moving on. Let's stop dwelling on drama. Fuck drama. It's not a good thing. All right, let's move on. Now, how the fuck did it became from prepping to boxing? How did that happen?
Oh, okay. I got acquainted with you guys when we were talking about I don't want to mention a name because it attracts negativity, toxicity, all that shit. But there
Mhm,
was this boxer, right? And you know who this is. In There was controversy between this boxer to that boxer, or
mhm,
some controversy within a boxer's camp, and I got intrigued, really intrigued by it because it became YouTube news in the Philippines. And so
mhm,
Zion, our common friend, um, was, I guess, live one time, and they were talking about it, and I knew something about it, so I went to his live and gave my piece, like gave a just gave my 2 cents, like really honest, and I guess Zion liked what I said and liked how I think and how basically he appreciated uh, uh, things that I things that I said. They kind of liked my answers, and so that I became friends with you guys.
mhm,
Um, so I already had prepping content on my channel, but then again, I got um, initiated to the world of Filipino boxing. And I'm a casual fan. I don't claim to be an expert, but I do watch it every once in a while, especially Pacquiao fights, Casimiro, all that.
mhm,
And it turns out I have a lot of opinions on boxing. So I put it out there, and people liked it. And then I became friends with an ex-boxer, Marvin Mabait.
mhm,
And then he kind of like planted a seed, like, hey, you know what? You're in Los Angeles. A lot of Filipino boxers come here. So if you want to have like a boxing channel, this is the best time to start because you're already in Los Angeles, like the mecca of boxing,
yeah,
and
yeah,
a lot of Filipinos come here and train, and you can talk to them. And then so I'm like, hey, why not? So I started to
yeah.
like put out more boxing content, and it really started. I mean, the ball began to roll when I started befriending Marvin Mabait, Jonas
Ah,
Sultan, Jerwin Ancajas. All of those are current fighters who are training in LA. And
uh-huh,
so I got
uh-huh.
acquainted with a lot of subscribers, and they subbed to me because of it.
Yeah.
And then I befriended more people who were into boxing, and then they started propagating like toxicity, this contract, this promoter is an asshole,
Mhm,
that promoter is an asshole. Well, whose side are you on? Are you camp this and camp that? And so I'm like, fuck it. I'm so over this. Fuck this. I'm gonna go back to like topics like fucking aliens and shit. Aliens and prepping and fucking politics. I started like putting out content with content about Duterte, about content about fucking infidelity, all that shit. And I'm still having no luck with the subs. And then one time I was ready to like give up, and I realized, oh, it's Jonas Sultan's fight tomorrow, so I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna look for a stream and fucking I don't know, maybe I can like stream it, and I streamed it on YouTube. I streamed it on YouTube, and I got away with it. So it gave me like a lot of eyes. But then again, these eyes, I think during that live when I was streaming the Jonas Sultan fight, I think I had, let me look it up right now. Give me 1 second.
I'll
It
be
was
right here, man. I'll be
it
right
was a
here.
lot, bro. Like couldn't believe it. 1 second. Okay. Now it's stopped at 38,000 views. So
Motherfucker!
this was a
God!
dude, and this was a 2 hour broadcast. So that's a lot
Jesus
of views, man. I don't
fucking
know how I got
Christ.
away
I
with it.
know, man.
I don't know, because I
Jesus
think as long
fucking
as we
Christ.
like, because I was really worried they're gonna shut my channel down. But what I did was I would like show the screen, right? I would like fucking film the screen.
Mm,
Every once
mhm,
in a while, I would shake it or like go to like a wall or whatever. And also, I think I got away with it because the Jonas Sultan fight wasn't pay per view, so probably top
mm.
here the fuck.
I
So
see, I see, I see.
yeah, so I kind of got away with it, and so it's like the universe telling me, "Hey, man, if you want to make it on YouTube, stick to fucking boxing, right?" And right, and so I put out a lot of Jonas Sultan content, and the algorithm was with me for like a week or two or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then Jonas Sultan's main card was about between Jose Zepeda and then Josue Vargas of Puerto Rico, New York, Puerto Rico. And I made a meme because he was talking a lot of crap, was talking a lot of shit, and he got knocked out in 20 minutes on the first round.
Mhm.
That's funny, in in the circle of boxing. That's funny. You're allowed to like fucking make fun of that because he talks shit.
Yeah.
He dissed an entire fucking state. Like he called us Cali boys, like the
No.
talk or whatever. So I fucking came up with a meme. I think the first meme was fucking 1 second. Okay, so I started a okay, so my first video that went kind of viral, because viral, I think viral is if you get like a million views, that's viral. Like officially, that's what it means. But for me, this is viral for a channel as small as me. So I came up with fake versus real alpha, Jose Zepeda versus Jose Vargas body language. So I don't know if you can see it. Uh,
Nope, we can't. It's blurred, man. It's blurred. It's blurred.
yeah.
But any case, yeah.
Okay.
Check out his
Anyway,
fucking channel.
yeah, please. Um, so man, it blew up. Like everybody, like, and I started getting comments from people in the U.S. and even Puerto Ricans in New York. Like
Mhm.
they like what
Mhm.
I did. Like, hey, this guy don't represent us. He's a joke. He's a clown.
Mhm.
It's good that he
Mhm.
got knocked out because he's a bad representation of Puerto Rico and New York. We're nice. We're
Mhm.
not arrogant like that or whatever. And
Mhm.
fucking, I started getting comments from fucking Mexico, bro. Like they were like fucking straight
Yeah,
up.
shit, man,
And I'm like,
shit.
dude, so it started really blowing up. So from 1,000, from 700 from the Jonas fight,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
want to say about 1,500 of my subs are from. I mean, they're pretty much Latinos.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm onto something here. So I started pumping out like funny content on the Jose Zepeda
Mhm.
and Jose Vargas fight, and they fucking loved it, man. So I'm like, so it's feeding my hunger for validation. So
Mhm.
all those internal monologues that I hear when I wake up, like when you're like trying to do something, right? When you're trying to like be
Yeah.
successful at something, and you wake up, and this voice in your head is telling you, dude, just stop. It's not working. Just fucking stop, bro. Just get a nine to
Don't
five
listen
job,
to it.
an 8 to 5,
Don't
whatever.
listen to
Stop.
that, man.
No, no, no. Don't listen to it, but it happens, right? The
Yeah,
only thing
yeah,
that stopped the voices was the success. When it started getting like fucking subs, when it started like having people commenting, "Hey man, keep going. It's really funny.
yeah,
We Mexicans love the Philippines. We were like
yeah,
brothers, hermanitos.
yeah,
Gracias a todo." Like they're like, teaching me fucking Spanish, so it
yeah.
kind of fucking egged me on, bro. Like, wow,
Yeah,
all
of
right, I'm
course, of
onto something
course,
here.
of course, man.
So all those like fucking like imposter syndrome conversation in
Mhm.
my head, they went away. Like, so somebody on the other side of the world is appreciating what you do. Man, that's really fucking big, bro. Like you can't you can't put money on that.
Yeah, of course, of
So
course. The fruits of your labors, man. The fruits of your labors. Yeah. That's
yeah,
that's what
pretty much.
yeah, that's what I keep telling people. When you become honest, when you do the right thing, when you do what's for you, it the universe fucking connives with everything to give you what you need. Because that's all it takes, man. And that's, I don't know if I can safely say that it's a fucking formula, but I think it's proven to be effective. When you do the right thing, when you do what needs to be done, not only for yourself, but for the people around you, if you try to understand what's within that particular circle that you're revolving in, or what you really want to do, because you're no longer lying to yourself. You're practically doing, and you're understanding, like the transaction. You're seeing that this is what people want. I can provide it without compromising myself, without compromising my fucking ideals, without putting on a mask, being honest and shit. So it finally starts to pay off, and it's fucking
Right.
beautiful, right? It's fucking
Yeah.
beautiful, right? Exactly. That's what I really am very happy for people when they find that. We were talking about meaning, finally having some fucking meaning to your existence. Some
Right.
people find it in a different way when they're able to create beautiful art, if they can find like validation to what they're doing, exactly with what you're doing, with the art that you are putting out, with the content that you're putting out. Finally, it's being seen, it's being understood as it is, without being held back, without holding not only yourself but everything around you back. It's finally paying off. And please, don't have like people watching, don't have the misconception of like, this is like how you can find meaning, like having validation or whatever. Some people find meaning in their lives when they have like good relationships, or finally pursuing a dream, or realizing a dream, which is exactly what he did. He realized his dream. So I think when you start finally listening to yourself, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and you're honest enough to put that out to people around you. This is what I want to do. Unless otherwise, like I said, what you want to do requires jail time, don't fucking do it. Find something else.
Yeah.
Find find something that can help other people, at least in a little way. Make them laugh, because that's what people
Right.
needed at this time. People needed to laugh. People needed to be happy. People fucking wanted to come out of this insane time. You're locked in, you're fucking wasting your time on YouTube, and then all you can find is toxic bullshit and all that. And then you come along with this funny and happy fucking stories, and fuck it, man. It pays off. God damn it. Good job.
Yeah, appreciate it
Yeah,
so much.
man. So,
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, this is where I break the. Oh, Lilibet said something here. Want to share lang this quote, sir. What is your thoughts about this? Bago ko sundo sa asawa ko. Don't compete, don't conform, don't compete. Yeah, that can be taken. That can be read in different interpretations. There are times that you have to conform. You know, there are times that you have to compete. Like I'm competing with other meme makers, and now it's now the game is on because I'm competing with other creators that are making the same content and way better. Like this guy, I just because since I'm making these meme videos, right? I'm making
Mhm,
funny
mhm,
boxing memes, right? So
mhm,
the YouTube algorithm is presenting me with content from other creators with the same
yeah,
brand of comedy. Because like we talked about in the background, I have dark humor, so that's how I presented the fake alpha versus real alpha comparison, the Jose Cepeda fight.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I took no prisoners, man. Like I showed his brother crying and all that shit. And then
mhm,
I saw this one creator. Let me see if I can look it up. But what he did was it was an edited uh uh edited videos that made it look like Canelo and fucking Caleb Plant was having a sit down conversation,
mhm,
facing each other. It was really great. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, these are my competitors. Like shit, I gotta do better. You know, like, it was so greatly ingrained. I'm gonna show it to you, but I'm like, so it kind of like pushes me like more to like put out better content. You know, because to be honest, compared to other meme video makers, my shit is child's play. Like these people have been doing this for like fucking years and earning off of it. And
Mm,
but I'm being egged on by people saying, "Hey, don't stop doing this.
mm,
You're a legend." Shit like that, man. Like it fucking pushes you to like, so you get validated. You get what
mm.
you want, which is attention. And
You
the
get
beauty in
motivated.
it is, yeah. But before the motivation, you got to feel that it's kind of like sex. You know, if you don't have a lot of
Mm.
sex, if you don't get off, you know, like
Mhm,
you have that shit. Like you have that um we were talking about this. The Japanese, they have a term for that clarity when you orgasm,
mhm.
and they always have to be in that state. So they tend to have like geisha type women or women, right? So
Jack
because they're
off.
always
That's the message. Jack off.
right, because they have to like
Uh,
fucking they have to release that urge
mm,
to clear them of worldly desires that's getting in the way
mhm,
of their creativity, of their logic, and whatever.
mhm,
So why am I saying this? But
mm,
so in the same sense, if if you feel that hunger for for validation and attention, what comes next is the fucking strive to get better. Because I already fulfilled that. Okay, everybody's liking my shit, and they're telling me not to stop. And as a matter of fact, I put out a video that kind of mimics my first video, and then I got criticisms because it was telling they were telling me, oh, this shit is getting old already. You know, make up better content, come up with a good one,
mm.
come up with a better one, and so that motivates me because I already have like people rooting for me, right? And I
Yep,
guess I
yep.
needed an extra push from people criticizing me, so I'm like, hey, I needed this. You know,
Mhm,
instead of getting
mhm.
mad, I'm like, I told him, I told the guy, like, hey, you know what, I needed this. All right, I'm gonna put out better content.
Yeah. Mm.
Put out two more content, two more videos, and they fucking loved it. You know, and now I'm getting requests to like make T-shirts out of the meme that I created. I'm like, what? How do I do this?
Merchandise, motherfucker. Of
Yeah,
course,
they
of
want
course.
me to make shirts of the
Mm.
guy I've been talking shit about, and I'm like, hey man, I don't know, there might be a hit out for me right now.
Yeah. No, we'll just unpack what you said. We'll just go back to it a little. I'm not saying that you don't need to jack off. What I meant was when we say jacking off, let me just explain that. Let me just explain that. Um, the Japanese have a weird way of representing shit, and sometimes they're too literal. We came across this when I was still in college.
Hey Diego,
When yeah, hi sir, welcome. Yeah. When you're too focused on things, whatever it is, just like sex, you're too hungry. It consumes you. That's why you have to jack off, meaning to release, to just pursue it. No mind. It's like martial arts when you're within like when you're consumed. I think that's the better word for it. When you're too consumed with what's on your mind, with that, with that being said, whether it's sex, whether it's your art, whether whatever it is that consuming you, if you don't release it, if you don't close that circle, as it says, because it's the hunger, the need, and then the moment you release it, or meaning to say complete it, finish the act, then that gives you that moment of clarity because it no longer bothers you,
yeah,
regardless if you do it again or not.
well
So
explained.
if you're indeed within that moment
Mhm.
of no longer needing it, you see it differently, you see it a lot more clearly. So I'm saying jack off, please. Like masturbation is not only limited to sexual pleasure or sexual release. It could be an artistic release, and a intellectual masturbation, like what we always do. We fuck our brains. That's the best way of doing it. When you find that clarity, when you fucking pursue it, man, you pursue it, you do it. Yeah, it has to be done. So yeah, I hope I was able to explain that properly without being,
Hey, I fucking
what's the
found it.
right word?
Oh shit.
There you go.
No, no, the guy who made this, man, he made it look like Canelo in a fucking Caleb plant is like sitting this close to each other alone unattended, and they're just like it's like awkward silence and like human sounds. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Fucking
up against
beautiful,
these
yeah.
guys. These guys are good.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to up your game, man. It means only one thing. You have to up your game. Always a better version of yourself. Don't fucking sit on your laurels right now. You're on top,
No,
and it
no.
takes it takes a how do you say that? What's the right word? It takes a lot to keep staying on top. That's
Yeah.
why it's a continuous journey. It's a continuous process. And I hope I'm not taking too much of your time. We didn't notice it's already an hour and 30 minutes into this motherfucking shit.
Mhm. Good.
So, um, so moving from that, what do you think is the future for the channel? Will you change your name, or would you put out merchandise? What's the plan? What's the plan, motherfucker?
Well, I haven't seen a single cent yet from the monetized video, so let's see how lucrative this can be. But uh, the channel, I will separate because you used to like have discussions, which I really miss. So I'm gonna put out a separate channel so we Pinoys can like go there and like do conversations about fucking I don't know aliens again and fucking whatever.
Oh, I
But
think
since
it'll. Mm,
yeah, but since I want to say 70% and growing of my subs sub to me because of the funny memes, so I'm gonna have the Pinoy Prepper channel as my meme channel. You know, like funny videos, entertaining stuff, maybe some boxing, MMA news, and I want to like branch out to like world news and like how do you make these issues funny or whatever. So
mm.
that's my
Yeah.
initial plan for what's going on with my channel right now. For the name change, definitely, it's I'm thinking of a because I've always wanted to change the name. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I don't want like just a random like announcement. I want to like produce a well thought of video because my fans deserve to know like what the Pinoy Prepper brand is, why it's that way, or why I need to like change the name and all that.
Mm,
And it'll also gonna be like a thank you video to the people who like support me or like
mm,
been there since day one because I will never ever forget them. Like I know 50 YouTube names on top of my head that are always there. You know, like when I started broadcasting live, they're always there. Not necessarily at the same time, but I would see these names again and again and again and again. So these are my day ones. So I'm planning to like come up with a thank you video uh, before I change the channel, so everybody would realize, oh, that's Pinoy Prepper. You know, we just changed
mm.
the channel name. But maybe in about a week or two, we're gonna change the name to something else. I don't know yet, but it's some should be something with an easy recall, so people
Mm,
would associate it with me.
mm.
Yeah, just maybe try to keep doing what I'm doing, like put out more
Of course.
content and get better at it, the basic stuff.
Practice makes better. Not perfect, but better. Practice, practice,
Oh
practice.
yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker, keep doing it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much. If there's anything in your mind to like bring this to a circle, please. You have the floor. Are we going to end this, or you want to keep going?
I'm good. Like I said, it's up to you, man.
I'm good,
You're
man.
the
I'm good.
captain.
I really can't think we can top being honest, admitting to your faults,
Yeah.
success because of that. I don't think we can top that, man. We fucking did it in an hour and 30. Fucking people do
Nice.
that in like 3 hours. Fuck you, motherfuckers. We can do it closer. We can do it faster here.
Mm.
So
Good
all right,
talk.
man. Yep. Premature ejaculators.
Yeah. This was fun,
Take
and
it away. Take it
yeah,
away. Take it away.
I wanna break the illusion that I got everything figured out. Like for example, I now this me like being completely honest, and I know you like my story so far, but I'm telling you right now, I still am open to the possibility of maybe, and I'm not saying it's certain, and this might surprise everyone who's listened so far. I'm still open to the possibility of me separating from my you know my significant other, because I have a lot of frustrations that I just realized recently. And to be completely frank with you guys, I'm happy about the success of the channel. I'm happy about moving to a new place. I'm happy about having extra freedom to express myself and whatever, and still being able to enjoy my daughter and being a father to her. But I am not happy right now. I feel like still the world is passing me by. I still feel that I'm frustrated with a lot of things. Um, I'm 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 still a mess, to be honest. So I don't want you to think that I got this figured out. That that the sudden rush of subs on my channel is the answer to everything. I'm still pretty much fucked, and I still want more attention. I'm still I I have a lot of I have a lot of frustrations. I think that's the best word I can come up with. Like am I still feel like I'm being shortchanged by life, and I know that that's not healthy, but that's me being honest right now. And maybe some of these things are brought upon by my previous mistakes. Maybe I passed on, or I kind of like neglected or ignored a lot of opportunities that came my way when I first got here. um I don't know, those might be it, but I'm happy to report that things are a little better than the first time we talked about these things. So I'm really happy to be acquainted with you, with the TUC family, and like things are way better than when you first met me. So, and that's a good thing, I think. You know, baby steps, but hopefully I get there sooner than later, and hopefully I'm able to do whatever I want to do before I kick the bucket. Because again, like I said earlier, I'm afraid of death. I'm not one of those people who tell people I don't care if I die right now. I'm not ready to die. I fear death a lot. I fear death a lot. So I hope you appreciated the honesty. And I'm not a hero. I'm actually horrible. Diego knows about that. So my humor's fucked up, but by the end of the day, all I want to do is like entertain people through my work. So if you find extra time, if you're free when if you got nothing to do, head on over to my channel if you want to laugh, want to talk
Please.
about boxing, MMA, all the good stuff.
Of course, of course, of course. And I hope everyone who gets to watch it, everyone who gets to um like finally find this interview of yours, I hope you download it and put it in your channel, because I think it will be a great help for people to find out who you are, at least have a sneak peek of who who Pinoy Prepper is, or Jacob, if you wanna know him a lot more, like scratch beneath the surface, as we always say in this channel, please check this out. And ha, so how do I follow that? uh, sorry. Is that all? Do you have anything else to add, man?
No,
Just give
that's
me a
about
few
it.
seconds
We
to
can
think.
do this again, and
I
talk
hope
about
so.
make
I
like
hope so.
a fucking progress report of where I'm at.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely. All right. Here we go. All right. Finally found the right words. Well, again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And I think this is proof positive of the whole raison d'être of our channel, of what we do here. I think this is like the perfect example of like a case study in human progress. He started somewhere that he didn't want to be, and by following the practical or proper steps, I think, yeah, that's the right word for it. With initial self realization that I am not in the right place I want to be. What are the things keeping me in this place? What is preventing me from moving forward? If we ask the right questions, we get the answers we need, and we get to it's not wallow, we get to, what's the right word? Fuck it, man, I'm getting old.
Yeah,
We
I think
get to we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We get to change the environment that we're in, and we get the world, at least our world. When I say that, what I mean is our immediate environment, what we want from our world, we finally get it. And I think this is like proof positive. Again, I can't think of any other word. This is proof positive that if you are man enough, if you have the balls enough, whether you're a woman or a man, if you have the balls enough to admit that this is what's wrong, if you correct that, then you get what you fucking want. But if you keep lying to yourself that no, it's the world that's conspiring against me, it's fucking me up, there's nothing wrong with me, then I don't think you'll get anywhere. Yes, maybe more or less you'll get what you want in some less meaningful way as you can feel it like deep in your heart. I think we are all well aware if we can say that we already have meaning in our life, if we can find enjoyment in the little things. I'm not saying like I don't need $1 million. It'll fucking help, of course, but let's not lie to ourselves. Having money, having everything you want materially, that's bullshit. It's not enough. I don't think that'll be enough. I think being human will not give you satisfaction in that, because there's no symbolic meaning to it. And I don't want to prolong the agony of keeping like monologuing and shit, but I'll keep it short. Life is about making choices. If you make the right choices by asking the right questions, you'll get to where you want to be. And fucking proof positive, this motherfucker right here is like where he wants to be at the moment. I'm not saying, because he did say that he still got some shit that he needs to work out. Fucking life is a constant transition. You'll always find something to improve on. And you'll be lying to yourself if you just say that this is where I want to be forever. Fuck you, lying motherfucker. So I don't think we can like sit in a place where that's it. This is it. I'm good. No. We have to continuously strive. We have to continuously find that better version of ourselves without incurring jail time. We have to find at
very
least a
important.
way to make ourselves. we have to at least find ourselves a way to feel. And thank you very much for again letting us invade your time, your privacy.
No
Thank
problem,
you,
man.
Jacob. Thank you very much, Jacob. And
Don't be
thank you very
realized.
much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. So,
Thank you very much.
hope
Thank
you guys are
you.
happy.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. That's it. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And we're out.